1 second. I have a photo of you somewhere.
Okay.
But he was about to share.
It's kind of scary that he's got a photo of us somewhere.
He's going to tell us.
It is kind of
He showed
scary.
photos of kids. I didn't think we wanted to go there.
Nope. So now that we all have our backgrounds, let's talk about tonight's theme before we dive into cookies. And we're going to play a collaborative game. And we always say that every Christmas event, which we kind of never do. So if you're really here to play our post-path collaborative event, I'd like to apologize in advance because it may or may not happen. We got it set up, but sometimes we get way too immersed in the social part of it because it's Christmas time. So that's the best part. So Marcy, why don't you share like what the theme for today's event is?
Well, anybody?
What?
Did
I'm
anybody
sorry.
get it from the tips or hints that we had out on LinkedIn?
Oh,
Did any-
valid.
Yeah, I was going to ask that first, if anyone happens to know what it is.
Well, Steph kind of said it, so, you know.
I did not, besides whoever listens to me.
Was this the question that I like flooded the response with like 3
Yeah.
or 5 answers?
Yeah, and then there were hints the next few days.
Oh, I missed those.
Missed those. Oh,
Uh-oh.
yeah, we didn't get much response on those. So, you know, but I do appreciate all the interaction out there and the guesses. Yeah, Robert put out there, well, it might be this, and then it might be this. If you're talking about this, then it could be this. We try to cover all his bases.
I'm sure at this point he probably just wants to find out, right? We've been keeping people guessing. So
Guessing is good.
Marcy, you like, is this a drum roll time where it's like,
Oh,
for it.
So here come the first things are the 2 themes that we have for tonight. If you haven't figured them out from the backgrounds, if nothing else, the first one is, what does Santa have to do to prepare to go out on Christmas Eve and deliver all the gifts? You may see it in some of the backgrounds, but he has to make the list of naughty and nice. So today is Santa's list day. Now, hopefully all of you are on the good list and Santa will be coming to visit. But if Santa comes to visit you, there's something you're supposed to leave for him. And that is theme number 2. It is also National Cookie Day, and we're going to give you some cookie recipes to help you get ready for Santa's visit. So our 2 themes tie together: Santa's List Day and National Cookie Day. I think that sounds like a fun one. Now let's see if we can get us all on the good list so we can actually enjoy the cookies, right?
Do you think the workshop uses Agile?
It
Never
might.
know.
It might. If not, we've got a lot of experts here with collective experiences that would probably volunteer to get on the good list by sharing their skills.
This is true.
Well, metaphorically, a waterfall of cookies sounds like it might be interesting.
Ooh, like that.
You like that?
I do like that.
And personally, I think they made National Cookie Day just for Kathy, Stephanie, and Marcy.
Mm-hmm.
Works for
We
me.
planned it at the
I'm
beginning of
happy with that,
December.
as long as it includes chocolate.
Making me happy.
Okay. So now that we know what the theme is, and it's becoming quite obvious, Kathy, did you want to kick us off with some recipes that we can start talking about? And this is where it's all, I wouldn't say it's all in, but this is very interactive. So you have stories to share. If you want to post links in the chat about recipes that you have, because we do collect all the recipes from the collective event and we share them back with you. So it's a little bit of a takeaway too, or I don't know if it's a takeaway, you get something in return.
Excellent.
There you
Or
go.
something.
or
That's
something.
our way.
or
Well,
something.
we always have to have cookies. So, so Marcy, that was an excellent lead in. And I apologize, I'm working on two screens. I'm also in the middle of COVID fun, so if I sound a little funky, it's not that I've been enjoying too much of the first two recipes. It's just that I can't taste any of the recipes right now. So
We
fun.
need to shoot you up with some eggnog or something spiked.
Yes. So given that, we'll see if any of these might help me. So just to I thought this was kind of fun. Cookie Day, National Cookie Day timeline. Who knew the original Keebler Elf started in 1853? I had no clue. Oreos, I had heard the Oreos versus Hydrox. Forgot that was 1912. Toll House cookies, that was a fun one. They are my most favorite. Started in the late 30s. And then Chips Ahoy in 1963. So obviously there's been no cookie invention since 1963, but I was born in 64, so the cards were set in stone by the time I came on. There is this fun little cookie day quiz. I'll put this in the chat when I stop talking, because I can't talk and put in chat at the same time. But there's a cookie day quiz. So if you are at all interested in finding out what cookie you are, you just have to answer these questions and you will find out what cookie you are. It was just kind of fun. So in order to get ready for our cookies, we have to quench our thirst first. So Aaron gave us a wonderful libation. And I did some quick cut and paste, so I'll make it a little less fuzzy when we send it out to you guys. But this one sounds really yummy. Aaron, have you made this before?
Oh, is this my Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
So this was we had every Christmas. My dad made it, and for every Christmas and that. I think it was about 3 years ago. He comes every year and visits me and my sons, and I think 3 years ago he brought the Tom and Jerry mix. And you have to have milk. You warm up the milk. You put it so it's a warm holiday drink, and then you put a little whatever you want to use, brandy, rum. We're in Kentucky. We're going to use bourbon.
Whiskey.
Gotta be the bourbon.
It's a mix that you make, and then you spoon, several spoonfuls of this mix into a mug or a coffee cup or that, and then you pour in the warm milk and top it off with a little nutmeg on top, and don't forget that brandy. So unless you're serving it to a kid, then you might want to leave out the brandy. But you can see, it's quite something, a pound of Confederate sugar. So you can at me. But
Wow.
it's a nice, warm holiday drink that really just gives you that holiday spirit and everything.
Euphoria.
We
So could
always
you
added
take it on the
cinnamon to it
Bourbon
as well
Trail?
when we did it. Just as a side note.
What was that, Marcy?
We always added cinnamon along with the nutmeg on ours when we did it as our family. So, but back in the day, there used to be a mix that you could buy, and I've never known how that mix was made. So thank you, Aaron. I've been looking for it for a long time. So I'm very excited to share it with my family this year.
I was just having fun reading the directions, and here I always had fun with my Buckeye recipe, but you got 12 eggs in this sucker. So
24 cups of milk. How many gallons is that? That's got to be a lot. 24
I
cups.
know. It's
And
huge.
only 20 fluid ounces of brandy only? Is that besides
Might
the
have to double
Is that enough to cook the eggs?
plus the bourbon?
Aaron, this is what ice cream wishes it could be.
Yeah,
It is
there you go.
the base for going out on the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky, right? You get a big
Yeah.
thermos, it's hot, and then everywhere you stop, you just pour it in as, like the little foundation, and you add the rest of it. Is that what that's for, Aaron? Like your pre-gaming before you go out? He's not going to answer.
What's the connection with Tom and Jerry?
I really don't know the answer to that. So
Saturday morning cartoons.
I do know my dad used to say, Tom was the mix and Jerry was, the brandy that you pour in there.
Brandy.
Ah.
And
Is that
but,
related to a Tom
no, I
Collins?
don't know. I don't know why it was given that name. Certainly remember the cartoon from the 80s. I don't know if it has
That's
any.
where my head was going.
There's a restaurant chain in Chicago called Tom and Jerry's.
Oh,
I thought
really?
maybe it has something to do with that. It's like, the cheeseburgers and Italian
Maybe
beef stuff.
Philip was going.
Oh, wow. Wow. So if you want to quench your palate in another direction, you can go for a cranapple punch. This was by Marcy. So Marcy, do you do this in the holidays times? Oh, you can.
We definitely do. We put it in a crock pot, start it in the morning on low, let it kind of simmer all day, and the fragrance through the house is amazing. And then you could spike it if you wanted to. We do not. We have plenty of other things that are spiked. We have a holiday wine that we get every year, so that's our spiking. But it's very simple. It's just pouring a few ingredients together in the crock pot, letting it simmer all day, and then you top it off with an orange slice and a stick of cinnamon when you put it in the cups. So it's cranberry juice, apple juice, or I've actually swapped out the apple juice and used high C, the regular high C. I don't usually add the sugar. My mom used to, but I tried it without it, and there was enough sugar in the two juices that I didn't think we needed it, so that I leave that as kind of optional. Instead of using a little bag, I actually use my T-ball to put the cloves and the allspice in, because I don't have a little bag, so my T-ball seems to work pretty well.
There you go.
That's for the non-cook person that doesn't have as many tools. And then I actually do float some slices of oranges and stuff in the actual punch while it's simmering to get the flavor through it. And I do actually Mom doesn't put the cinnamon sticks in while it's flavoring, but I do. And then of course I garnish with them. But it's just a warm, good tasting drink to have when you come in from being out all day or whatnot. So
I think that would go really nice with a meat dish.
Yep.
You could just have that right along with your meal.
Marcy, this one reminds me of my dad. He would make a glug, and my parents would have a Christmas party, usually the weekend before Christmas. Well, the glug would start brewing either the night of Thanksgiving or the next day. And so we had a huge stock pot. I don't know how many gallons it was. Huge stock pot that would just be on simmer for about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And it was wonderful, because if you sounded like I do now at that time, you would just float yourself into the kitchen, put a dish towel over your head, and just absorb all that yumminess.
Sounds like you need your dad to make you some.
I do. And he liked his warm. He used sherry. I've got the recipe. He used sherry, and there's, all kinds of fruits that would float in the bottom. And then the day of, that's when they would pour the brandy in. And so when I was younger, much younger, under 21, that was just not my cup of tea. But now I'm like, okay. So when I read this one, I'm like, man, that's just getting me back to my dad's glug. So we'll have to try one of those. So jumping into cookies, now that we have our thirst quench, these just sounded absolutely yummy. Peppermint melt-away cookies. So you anything with peppermint is yummy to me. What I liked about this one is no eggs. So it's just flour, cornstarch, butter, more powdered sugar. So Aaron, we're definitely on a powdered sugar kick this time around. And then you can make it easy and just use store-bought frosting, or you can make your own frosting. So I'm gonna have to try. I never have any luck making my own frosting, but I may just try this one again. So those are there. It's not really complicated directions, it's just a lot, but those were yummy. So those sounded very, very yummy. Excuse me. And then Bill, you had the best peanut butter cookie.
Yep.
These sounded absolutely yummy. So I have the ingredients here, and then the directions here. So Bill, is that your favorite cookie? A peanut butter cookie?
Absolutely. Well, one of them. Unfortunately, one of them.
You gotta have a huge glass of milk.
Oh yeah.
At least I do.
Yeah, some eggnog.
Or Tom and Jerry.
Or Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. Yeah,
Too fun. So these are in there. So Bill, thanks. Thanks for that one too.
Absolutely.
So, this one cracked me up. I still do cookies for, well, when I'm not sick with COVID, for that cookies for caregivers, which is really cool to make cookies for kind of the first responders, health providers, police and fire, anybody that's kind of working above and beyond for the last, since COVID started hitting us. So it's super fun. So these sounded great. It's kind of like the kitchen sink cookie because it has so much stuff you can put in it. I've never seen one with chopped peppermint puffs. Those are my absolute favorite peppermints.
What are those? I've never heard of that.
I know. So those are the peppermint puffs are the really soft peppermint candies that basically melt in your mouth.
Yeah.
Which are
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'd have to see it to be sure.
Right. I mean, they look like a fat peppermint candy. But they just absolutely melt in your mouth. So they're not that hard crunch. But this is what I loved about this is each serving is a third of a cup. I mean, that's a humongous cookie.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. I don't think I've ever made a cookie quite that big before. So that sold me on it right there.
Wow.
I just could, yeah. So
that looks delicious.
I do believe you could make them smaller if you chose to.
But why?
Why?
It's a third of cup of cookie dough.
Right. Bite your tongue.
So growing up, my brothers enjoyed my baking, and they're like, "What's the biggest cookie you could make?" So they lay down the gauntlet, and we made a monster cookie, bigger than this.
Bigger than that.
Yeah.
Too fun.
Wow.
Well, now, and Marcy, sorry, COVID land was hitting me, so I slowed down right at 6:30 tonight. But Marcy gave us let me see if I'm gonna stop this one.
Kathy, while you're pulling that up, I just want to mention we learned from a friend that you can do oatmeal raisin cookie bars. I don't have the recipe for it with me right now, but you basically make a full pan, like a baking pan, full of oatmeal raisin cookie stuff, and then you just cut it. So if you don't cut it, you have one really, really big oatmeal raisin cookie.
Oh, wow. Now that just sounds huge. Okay, now I'm trying to find where
What kind of raisins do you put in it? Are they just traditional, or are they golden raisins, or?
We've done it with the traditional raisins, following the recipe that our friends gave us. I'd have to go find that. I can try emailing that to you to send out later.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be great, because now I'm curious, Norm.
Yeah. Kathy, are you the repository or?
Yeah. Send them to me. Okay. Are you guys seeing the Neiman Marcus cookie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you guys see this? So
Yeah.
Marcy sent these. Now, Marcy, I've got to ask, I've seen this before where it says, please read the recipe and send it to every person you know. So I have to ask, is this one of the cookies that somebody wanted to get, but the store didn't really want to share it, but it still got out?
Yep. And I knew someone who worked there, so I can tell you this is the recipe.
Oh, wow. So I will include this one.
Because
This
she
one
vetted it for me. When
yummy.
I got this sent to me, I called her and I said, I got to ask you. And she goes, you know, I can't answer. And I said, okay, well, the next time we get together, we're going to talk about this. And I did I know you can't answer, but we know each other well enough, you know, give me a symbol. And she told me it was. So.
Oh my gosh.
That
So I
is
just
the
put
Neiman
in the
Marcus
chat
one.
that this looks exactly like the Mrs. Fields secret cookie recipe too that I have, and it is amazing.
Oh yeah.
It is very good. I have made these and I haven't seen the Mrs. Fields one, but this comes out really, really good.
I mean, it's kind of a pain because you got to like blend the oatmeal, like that's, you know, and then grate the chocolate bar. But man, it's
worth it.
Really
It's
hard.
worth the effort.
Yeah.
It is worth the effort, in my opinion. Yes. And I'm glad you're confirming it with me because people might think it's crazy to do all these steps, but it is worth it. I've done it a few times for holiday gifts and whatnot.
So then
they're best fresh for sure, but
Yeah.
if you don't get them fresh, you can like nuke them in the microwave for 15-20 seconds and it's close to fresh.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Eat them
Another
all.
thing I do is I make the dough. This is what I do with my kids. Like I make the dough and I like do the balls with my cookie thingy and then I freeze them and I just put them in a Ziploc bag in my freezer so then I can make a couple whenever I want to. And then
I've
my
been
kids
known to
found
do
out
that
my
too.
secret though, and they started eating the balls. So then I would go and I'd find an empty Ziploc bag. I'm like, oh my God, cookie, you know?
Oh my God.
You have to hide that bag in the freezer.
Yeah. Well, we also have like 4 or 5 freezers. So the fact that they, you know, would find it every time.
What a great idea.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. My my youngest son, he's still in Alabama, and there's a restaurant called Cheddar's. I don't know if you guys have a
I
Cheddar's
love
around
Cheddar's.
you.
I used to have one.
So they have a dessert called the Monster Cookie, and it's a huge pan cookie. It's probably 8 inch. I don't think it's 10 inches across, but probably at least 8 inches across. It's super thick. It's cooked in like a cast iron skillet. And then they top it, you know, with mounds and mounds of ice cream and chocolate sauce. And so the first time we saw it, we had eaten dinner and then we got it. And we're like, oh, this hurts. So the second time we went, we started with that and we just didn't eat dinner. So that
works.
You should always start with dessert. You should always start with dessert because you could die before you get there. So you might as well have it first, right?
I know. So then Marcy also gave us a meringue chocolate chip cookie. So Marcy, what's the background with this one?
This one is similar to a long time ago. I gave you guys just the chocolate chip version of this.
Yes, I do
that my
remember
mom
that.
has always made, and it's kind of been a family tradition. However, I tried a take on it a while back to see how it would work. I actually was at a party and someone had meringue ones that were peppermint.
Oh.
And when I asked how for their recipe, they said, oh, they were from Trader Joe's, which didn't help me at all. So I pulled out Mom's recipe and I said, let me see if I can tweak her recipe and have it come out like the one I fell in love with at the party. So basically what I did is I swapped out the chocolate chips for crushed. You could either use candy canes or peppermints. I think when I used the peppermint candies, I crushed probably 20 or so. And instead of putting the chocolate chips in, I put the peppermint in and it gave it a peppermint flavor. And then I put a couple drops of food coloring. And yes, I know it's dangerous and we're not supposed to do that and whatever, but it looked pretty. So you could use either red or green. I used green because the candies was giving the red, so it made it kind of festive. and it came out really good. So I told my mom I did that to her recipe, and she said, well, how could you get rid of my chocolate? You know, this family loves chocolate. So the next time I did it, I did half and half. I put chocolate chips and I put the peppermint in. It came out really, really tasty. So that's
you
the
put
modification.
Oh, wow. Well, that's yummy. Too fun. So I will include both those in there. Let me pull up my other one. I'm trying to see, we have a plethora of, while I'm doing this, does anybody else have any other cookies? I'm looking in chat. I know we had a couple dropped in there. Does anybody else have some favorite cookies they want to share right now?
Oh man, I don't have the recipe handy, but I can look it up. It's like candy cane cookies, so it's really delicious. It's the big pain to make. Like you gotta make half the dough red and half the dough white, and then you gotta roll them, and then you gotta like shape them, and it's a lot of work, but man, those are my favorite. And they freeze really, really well too.
So is it like a sugar cookie that you basically roll?
It's not like a sugar cookie. It's more like, pecan sandies, the consistency, because it's using confectioner's sugar, where it's kind of firm.
Yeah.
Kind of like that texture, but with, I think, almond extract is the flavor. But you do crushed peppermint candies on the top too, and they're so good.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see if I can find the recipe.
Well, I will
I had them years ago and I loved them, but I never knew how they were made.
Big pain.
I figured that because they look so pretty.
They're really, really cool looking, but and you got to refrigerate the dough, but you don't want to refrigerate it for too long. Then the dough can get crumbly, and it's a lot of effort, but worth it.
Kathy, did you see in the chat somebody put in there, my favorite are Kathy's Buckeyes?
Well, with all of this powdered sugar stuff, I'm like, okay, now I know something I can make along with my Buckeyes. And I would have made some, but I got sick, and I figured you guys wouldn't want Buckeyes from a person. I'll wait as soon as I'm healthy and negative, and I'll come back. So Miss Steph, I just had a question for you. I have a few more recipes, but I can hold them and we can move on, or we can continue having fun and getting really hungry.
I am getting hungry. So Erin, would we like to go to the collaborative game that you're going to run? Or would we like to continue with the recipes?
I'll leave that to the group, and I'm not making decisions here. So you guys want more recipes, or do you want to go on and move on else? Oh, you guys want to check in at the North Pole?
Yeah, let's check in.
I'd like to know how list making's going.
Here we go. And then Kathy, before we move on to the game, I do want to address the Thunder's Lumpy Cake.
Oh, yum. Okay.
All right, we're looking at a quarter of a room.
Okay.
What's this?
I don't see my present there at all.
Did I end up on the naughty list? I don't see one either, Steph.
It looked like wanted pictures on the wall there.
That's there. Looks too thin, doesn't he?
So when is the last minute that you actually have to start behaving in order to get a Christmas gift? Is it like 18 days? Is it
excellent
like
question?
Yeah, it sounds like another business analyst question.
It is. I want to know, and I want to know when the sprint's ending so I can, get in the pipeline for that gift.
Here you go. There's a Christmas with some gifts.
There we go.
That's a very good point, Steph, because was the requirement you had to be good all 365 days, or?
I don't know. It's a mystery.
That's cute. Ask, and it's loud.
It's cute.
I guess that's what we have to ask Santa. If we're dealing with little kids, you want them to be good all days, but you know, adults have to have some leeway because life gets frustrating.
That's a pretty big help. I'm just gonna go with that right there.
Yep.
I agree with you on that.
He might have gotten into the cookies.
It's possible.
It is possible. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. And then we have before we get into the game, I will send out the link for the game. Let me do that right now. I'll put that in chat. We're going to use Miro for our game. Just 1 second. Here we go. And while everybody's logging into that as a guest, I'm going to, like I said, share my screen, and then we're going to talk bumpy cake. So here we go. I can see people starting to pop in. Excellent. And Erin's going to run the game. I'll talk about like what agile, techniques that we're going to use. But so we've all been talking about cookies and drinks and amazing things. Here in Michigan, we're identified as known for our Saunders Bumpy Cake, right? So it's a big deal. And I just picked up a magnet at a local store that had one of the things that recognize you as a Michigander as chocolate fudge bumpy cake. But the problem is the bakery that is making Saunders cake is going out of business, and so they have to find a new bakery to do it. So that's could be quite the dilemma for the chocolate bumpy cake. So Marcy, I think I'd like to give you an action item to figure out how to invent the bumpy cake as a recipe, because you're always concocting something. Would you like to accept that challenge? Because look, the chocolate and the marshmallow. Does anybody else has? I mean, is this not a worry for anybody else but me?
I've never heard of bumpy cake, but it sure looks tantalizing.
It looks good, but like I said, I need to taste it to be able to replicate it.
Okay.
If it's a local delicacy, it'd be a shame for it to die.
I will make sure, Marcy, that you get some. It like I said, it is delicious, and I've been running around town. They just restocked the latest store, so it's a worry. So anyway, I guess it's my own personal worry. So
no,
let's
I
talk
would love to try to do it, but
bumpy cake is very good.
It is very
it
good.
Looks really good, and chocolate, as you know, is my weakness. So
it is delicious. So while you were talking about that, I was thinking about bumpy cake. So today we're going to once again explore two of the techniques, and it's the 10.10 from IIBA Collaborative Games, and from POA it's 6.3 collaborative games, and it's not the bumpy cake, so I promise I'll move on from that. Okay. So our last social event, we did a collaborative game, and I came up with descriptions and for a Buckeye, and what ended up happening, one of the teams thought it was a fruitcake.
Yeah.
So which was quite funny because our theme was Buckeyes, and it came up with a fruitcake. So it was a lot. If you were there, it was a lot of fun really trying to figure out what it was. And so on this game, we're going to do Post the Path. It's for a process map. And then Erin, did you want to take it away and talk about this? And then let me zoom in on the board. And before you talk about it, has everybody used Mural before so they understand how to navigate? Meaning you can make the board zoom in and out with these controls here. You have the panel over here where you can select things and add things. A lot of times I click here and we'll click you can use your mouse to scroll in and out, like I'm using the roller if you have an old school roller. And so you just a lot of times you just have to navigate around. And so it looks like we have about 2 teams worth of people, and this is team 1 and this is team 2. And these would be like the persons like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this direction, etc. So Erin, did you want to go ahead and talk about what we're going to do here?
So what we're going to do is we're going to put you in breakout rooms. We got 3 teams and 3 or 4 people per team. And that. So the first step of this is you see all the Post-it notes down there. So each team member picks one of those rows of Post-it notes. You can put your name over to the left to say that this is your row. And we're going to post a path on how do you make, what would we do, chocolate chip cookies?
You want to do chocolate chip? Sure.
Do chocolate chip cookies. So how do you bake those? How do you make them? And that, so what are all the steps for making chocolate chip cookies? So, buy the ingredients, whatever you want to do. Each person will make out what they believe their full step, of getting a finished product of chocolate chip cookies. And then once that first step is over and everybody's got their thing complete, and I think we're just going to leave you in your breakout rooms and you could do both steps at the same time. So take 5 minutes or whatever, fill out. If you need more Post-it notes to, if there's more than a dozen steps or whatever is in there, add more Post-it notes. You can just use the Control-C and Control-V to create a Post-it note, as well as grab it from the left, as Stephanie said. But once the 3 or 4 members of the group, got their path, what they individually think about the path to making cookies is, and then you collaborate together as a team. So the second portion of this now is you're going to come together as a team and decide what the true path is and make sure you have all the steps. And that, so somebody may think that it is go to the store and buy the ingredients, but another team member didn't start there. So people may lose, miss a step or something that somebody else remembered. So you're going to have a full list of collaboratively as your team. That's what you feel that the step of baking chocolate chip cookies is. And if you did start at the one thing you can do, and what you're doing is moving the Post-it notes from the bottom there up to that top line and making a full path there. And what you can do, like if 3 people said that this is the first step, then you can put them on top of each other and say, okay, these all say the same thing. And that's the first step of the thing and all along and that. So I know I played this at a conference and our post path was to do laundry. And the facilitator of the game, told us all that we were going to burn down our house because none of us checked the lint trap. So you get all the steps of your process of making chocolate chip cookies. Any questions? And altogether, I think we'll have like 8 to 10 minutes or something. Like I said, do both processes. So first, grab a row of your things. You'll see what room you're being put in as we go into rooms. Find that team on the board. Grab a row of the Post-it notes and just start typing in what the path is and what steps you would go through to bake chocolate chip cookies. And then once everybody's got that done, then start talking together and start moving Post-it notes up to that top row and make your collaborative team path to baking the cookies. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Has anybody done this before?
Nope.
Okay, so this should be very much fun. We're going to open up 3 break rooms. You'll see what room you're going into. Find that team on the board and go to posting a path.
Boom.
Hopefully everybody's getting in the rooms. Did it give you an option, Chris? There he goes. You should have one too, Steph.
Aaron, you're muted too.
Then you can't hear me, can you?
Now we can. Thank you.
Now we can.
Now I can.
So
We've been booted out.
looks
Yeah, I
like
couldn't hear anyone in my breakout room though, or maybe they couldn't hear me. I don't know. William, Bill, I couldn't hear you, and I don't know if you could hear me or not.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear him?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
I hear
I
now.
was
But
wrong microphone set. Whoops. I didn't realize you couldn't hear me that whole time.
yeah, I put it in chat, but the chat went to the global one, so I didn't know how to let you know. I couldn't hear a word. So.
I was wondering about that. I was like, oh, I guess she just does a lot of talk. Okay.
Antisocial.
No, I was trying to talk. It just wasn't working. So lesson
That's
number
funny.
1, you have to be able to talk to your team.
Yeah,
Right. As soon as you get tossed into that breakout room, it mutes you.
that's funny.
and you can unmute, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, Steph, do you want to show everybody the results of our little game and see what everybody came up with?
Steph,
You're-
you're muted too, so you're talking to your computer.
Okay, great. See, that's the best, this type of dialogue that I can share with you. So I was just gonna say, we were very, very focused as a team on getting them lined up. That's all I have to say. I'm sure the rest of you were too. Okay, and let me share my screen. Here we go. Okay, great. So we had 3 teams, and let's get started with the path to making chocolate chip cookies. So team 1 is Kathy, Judy, and Bill. And let's just first confirm that you did make chocolate chip cookies and you didn't deviate from that, right?
Correct.
All righty. And so let's look at the steps. So, okay. So
we did not get our truth done. We got
you did not. Well, yeah,
got our
which is-
individuals, but we liked Bill was thinking, so we liked a lot of what Bill had.
Okay, well, let's go with Bill. So Bill, help me out. So do you
Did
want to
you
read
get
through
your
yours?
Sure.
Did you get your cookies into the oven at least?
Yes.
I did.
Absolutely. So yeah, let me run through mine. So as always, which I usually skip this first step, but read directions. You know, it's probably a good thing. So from those directions, you're going to on to the next step of obtain your ingredients. You got to know what you need, then you go to the store and you obtain them. Then you come home and you have to preheat your oven, which I've learned the hard way that that's necessary. Then you have to, while that's preheating, you got to go ahead and mix all your ingredients together. You got to increment your cookie balls. So you make the little balls. And then you're going to bake per instructions, setting buzzer, and remove from oven after the buzzer sounds. Turn off the buzzer and the oven.
Ooh.
And allow the cookies to cool.
Okay. That is awesome. So Aaron, do we want to take his and put him at the top, and then as we go through the teams, then we'll stack them up?
No, I think they've got that there. That's the one line. That's okay.
Okay, cool. Do you get to eat your cookies?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
I did put eat one
I'm
or
just
two
saying, I
cookies
think we
on
missed
my
that
line.
non-stop.
Some of us went
Very
beyond
good
scope
job,
and said
Andy.
that we had to eat or share them.
Eat or share.
Share?
Oh, that's nice.
Share. Okay.
What
I
a
like
concept,
that.
sharing.
Oh,
It's the holiday
and then
season.
let's see, Kathy did have cover cookie tray. Oh, never mind. I thought that was cover them afterwards. Okay. Awesome job. Way to go.
Team number one.
Pardon me?
Team number one.
Woo!
Team one. Woo, woo. Okay.
Job team one.
Great. Great job.
Did you
All
come
right.
up
So
with
let's go with team two. So we have Bill. Nope. Oh, yep. William. I'm sorry, William. And then William, who was in there with you as well?
Marcy?
Me. We just had two of us.
Okay. So this person is you, Marcy. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to rename, so I gave up. I'm
That's fine.
person two,
Let me
I
change
think.
that.
And William, you were person one, right? We couldn't talk because we
Yes.
couldn't hear each other.
Aw.
That was interesting.
Okay, so who would like to, which one of these would we like to go through?
Mine ends about halfway through. I didn't make it, so hers might be better.
Okay.
I don't
So,
know if
Marcy,
mine's
you
any
wanna-
good or not. I just started typing and I had it in the truth and then realized I was in the wrong spot and had to move them all. So it was fun. I missed some steps, but I put in pull up grandma's recipe, check ingredients I already have, make shopping list, go to Jewel and get additional ingredients
Go to
needed,
Jewel.
Very specific.
assemble ingredients, sift any dry ingredients because her recipes always have sifting for flour and stuff. I don't know why. Add in wet ingredients like eggs, milk, whatever it was. Add in chocolates and stir lightly.
Okay.
Preheat oven. I didn't put the temperature, but I'm following the recipe. Put dough in cookie sheet, in cookie sheet sizes, but I ran out of time typing. Cook cookies per instructions. Let cookies cool and eat one or more. And yes, I should have said turn off the oven and turn off the buzzer. And
Fantastic.
one.
Still going on there. There you go.
Eat one or more. Awesome.
I love that step, Marcy.
Well, I try to
You love
only eat
that
one,
step.
but when they're fresh cooked, that doesn't work well.
No. Oh, and you know what? We also need to add one to make sure the dog doesn't get it.
Absolutely. I'm very careful about that.
That is a valid point.
What
Yeah.
I do with her is I always have some blueberries out on the counter. So as I'm cooking, she loves blueberries and I'll drop one or two so she feels like she's part of the process. And she can have the blueberries.
Ah.
And I keep them
Super
frozen
buttons.
in the freezer all the time year round. So if they're out of season, I always have some.
Very smart.
You didn't put that in the Post-it pack, though.
Well, that's
Give-
a
give
sidebar
that
note. I didn't know I was
blueberry.
supposed to include Button and what I do to keep her happy and out of the chocolate.
Yeah, where's Give Buttons the blueberries?
That's really great risk management.
And she's looking at me right now because I said that word, so I know what I'm gonna have
Said
to
the
do when this
word.
meeting ends.
Knows the word. Oh,
Oh, she knows blueberry and chicken. Yeah, those are her two favorite words. Aren't they, Boo?
So is it that we just do things naturally? You know what I mean? Like you go ahead and do them. You don't think of every single little step. Okay, very cool. Congratulations on making cookies. And I put a cookie there. Eat one or more. Awesome.
Eat one or more.
Eat one or more. Love it.
don't
Okay,
forget that step.
There's nothing about washing up here too, which is great. Somebody else is going to come along and do that.
If I
Do
cooked
Okay.
it, someone else needs to clean up.
There you go. Exactly.
That's my house rule, especially if the company's already here.
Hopefully not buttons. 'cause
No,
that
not Button.
could-
No.
Fill the dishwasher. Anybody put that in there?
No, we did not.
That's an afterthought.
Oh, I like wash hands. I see that. Yes.
Well, that's a good one.
Aha.
Okay, so Chris or Norman, which one of you want to go through this?
I'm game. whatever.
All right, go for it.
We tried pulling our Post-its up to the top. For truth, we didn't finish getting all of them up there and match, but we do have some nice overlap here. Recipe, we have a couple of buy ingredients, gather ingredients. Thank you, Steph, for making sure that we wash our hands. We've got get our tools together, the mixer, the oven, the baking utensils. We measure and mix our wet and dry ingredients. You grab Chris's combined dry ingredients and combined wet ingredients over there. Beat the eggs, mix the batter, all that. Fold wet ingredients into dry ingredients. Those all kind of go up together.
Very concerned about that, I think.
Yeah, we learned from Steph because we had this preheat oven. Steph was saying that she's learned over time that if you keep the dough cool, if you chill the dough, you wind up with better cookies.
Right.
That is true.
You really do.
Okay.
So at some point you're going to preheat the oven. I don't know, after you've got your dough in the right position, get the oven heated and oil your baking sheet. Spoon out the cookies onto the baking sheet, put them on the sheet, however you want to phrase that. I guess you have the grease baking pan goes with oil baking sheet.
Or use parchment paper.
Or
Yeah.
use parchment, right? Yep.
That'll work. Get the cookies into the oven, bake at 300 for 20 minutes, set the timer. So I guess you set the timer as you're starting to bake. Test to see if they're ready. Remove from oven, pull from oven, put on the rack to cool, move cookies to cooling rack. Serve, and then share with your family and friends, and you've got a photo op going.
Oh, the cookie selfie.
Yes, indeed.
Cookie selfie. So that way you can share at the next social event, right?
Right. And if you have your
There
own
you
Cookie
go.
Monster doll, you bring Cookie Monster to come with you for the photo op.
There you go.
Perfect.
And you can
Awesome.
sing C's for Cookie.
That works.
That's my favorite song.
I thought
I
C
tell
was
you
for
what,
Christmas
though.
or Hanukkah, but I guess it's for Cookie.
Yes.
That is true. Well, Aaron, that was a lot of fun. We were very focused in our room. I don't know about, it sounds like everybody else was too. I'm really just trying to figure out like how to make cookies that we've made probably 1,000 or 100 times in our life.
Or 1,000.
Yes. So everyone, what do you think of this as far as a collaborative game?
Steph, my
Yes?
my path is on team 4.
Oh, you were by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh,
Aw.
man.
Oh,
All
no,
right, here we go.
4
I
in
didn't realize you were by
easy.
yourself.
Christmas, so sad.
Oh no.
There's the shortcut.
You're cheating.
Oh, Aaron.
You'll have to come visit one of us so that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did say in the directions, baking cookies a couple times. So I cheated.
Packaged cookies.
Yeah, go to the store, buy packaged cookies, take them home, eat.
There you go.
Throw empty package away. Your cleanup's easier than mine.
I'm going to do this. You went to the store. You got to wash your hands. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
and
didn't-
wear a mask.
Wash hands.
Wear your mask.
Okay.
Ask Kathy, she would agree with that.
Yeah, I would now. Yep.
Did you here? Well, this was a lot of fun. I wish I would have put more cookie pictures in here. I will do better next time, but truly enjoyed it. Truly enjoyed that. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And okay, here we go. Well, maybe I wasn't at all. All right. So what is up next? Let's see. We have, and congratulations everyone on their cookie making prowess. So Kathy, did you want to talk about cookies some more? Or Aaron, did you want to do the thing?
I have like 4 more quick cookies.
Oh, let's do
cookie
that.
things.
Yeah.
So let me just blow that up if I can.
Are we supposed to log out of Miro or clear the cookies on our browser?
Clear the cookies. Clear those cookies.
Hilarious.
I really want some fresh cookies now.
You can stay in Miro if you want to.
Alrighty. Okay, so okay, I just fell in love with this one too. I like simple this time of year. So these cherry almond chocolate clusters were actually listed in a list of healthy cookies that you can do because you have antioxidants with the dark chocolate. You have almonds and cherries are good. So you can make this and feel good about yourself. And I'm all about that. So you basically just toast your almonds any which way you want. Get some dried cherries and dark chocolate. You basically mix the almonds and cherries together and then get your chocolate all melted, mix the whole thing all together, and then get heaping tablespoon size of clusters onto a baking sheet and just refrigerate them for 15 minutes. Just set them. So those just sound like I would eat the whole batch.
Oh yeah.
That just sounds yummy. It's like those peanut, what are those things called? Peanut clusters.
Brittle.
Yeah, that
Peanut
so
brittle.
that was good. This one you can tell where my head goes sometimes. I'm gonna have to try these this year. We make Christmas mimosa. I think I included that in last December's recipe book. But if you have extra cherries after you've made your cherry clusters, then keep the stems on them. You pour out just a little bit of the juice, pour in the peppermint schnapps. I think you could try the additive of your choice. I would go for amaretto more than schnapps, but I think you could do either. Refrigerated them, and the longer you let them soak, the better they are. But these things sound fun. So you just let them soak overnight. Take them out of the jar. Do not throw out that juice because it's really good. Dry off the cherries best you can. Dip them into your white chocolate, and then dip that into crushed peppermint candy. So you have a nice little cherry additive to all these little deliciousness that we're making. So those sounded super fun. Then snickerdoodles. Have you guys ever done cookies with using cake mixes?
Yep. I make a lemon one that's good.
Yeah, super easy and super quick. So I have not tried these. I do snickerdoodles by Betty Crocker way. But I'm going to try this because that just sounds super quick and easy. So nothing like a good snickerdoodle to add to the day. And then here's my favorite of the day, gnome cookie cups. So you make yourself some little gnomes. Just use refrigerator sugar cookie dough. You put each of the cookie doughs segments, kind of those square segments, put them each into a mini cupcake tin, and you cook that. When it comes out, press down slightly on it to make a little dent in it. Get your frosting going. Then you add in the put the strawberry on top and add a little Skittles for the nose, and you've got yourself a really cute little gnome cookie cup. I did include the directions on here because they have fun things to do to make the strawberries fit in there better. You kind of cut the tip of the where the stem of the strawberry is. You kind of cut it at an angle or a V shape. But they have more. If you like to do recipes by pictures. This justisafourletterword.com has a really fun link to it. So I thought ending on gnome cookie cups would be a fun way. So I am going to try them this year, and we will see what happens. But that was the last cookie that I had.
Look amazing. I
Hold it
got
over.
stuck on the cherry juice, by the way.
Quiet,
Like
quiet.
nothing you could do with
Hold
it.
on. I believe Santa is here.
Yay, Santa.
I hate Christmas. Huh? Come back!
You didn't ask me to on the fridge.
Parkour.
This is the most athletic Santa Claus I've ever seen.
He did not plump up.
What town do you suppose this is?
Rich off the package.
Yeah, he's on his way to the urgent care.
They're
Look at
urgent care, exactly. Holy cow, how long is this squat? Wow.
Santa's gonna need some cookies.
I'll say.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'll get you another one.
Oh no.
Think he's gonna knock him down?
I think I know someone on the naughty list.
Oh.
That's like a dream.
Thank you, Santa.
A Yorkie!
We are wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
One simple.
What was the budget to create that, do you think?
That was a wild ride.
Hey, save the best for last.
Wow.
I have to laugh. They gave the Grinch a Yorkie? Not my baby.
That's funny.
Wow. Okay, and then Aaron, did you want to do the other thing?
Oh, I knew I was going to forget something. Have it keyed up and ready to go. So go ahead.
Me? It's
Yeah. Well-
I can help you stall. If
I know, you're like,
So
Oh,
I
no,
have-
we're excellent
like
at
what
that.
is
Go
going
for
on
it.
here? Can we go back to
I
the
have
court?
I have a Santa story.
Oh, yay, Santa stories.
So this is in kindergarten. The school janitor of my public school in New York City dressed up as Santa and came into the room. And I'm Jewish. And he came into the room. I looked at him and I'm like, you're the janitor, is what I'm thinking to myself. But he came around the classroom and he had a big laundry bag that was red. And and he had his Santa uniform on, Santa costume on. He comes around the room and he's handing out bubbles to each of the kids. And very proudly, I say to him, no, thank you, I'm Jewish. And I felt really good about myself. And I came home and I told my mom that the janitor dressed up as Santa and gave all the kids bubbles. And I said, no, thank you, because I'm Jewish. And she's like, you could have taken the bubbles. At which point I started to cry. And she took me down to the store and got me bubbles.
Oh,
So that's my Santa story.
Oh,
Norman, how old were you?
I was like 5. It was kindergarten.
Oh,
do you
that's
get
so
bubbles
sweet.
at all anymore for Christmas?
What's that?
Do you get bubbles now for Christmas?
I might get bubbles. I don't know if it's Christmas or Hanukkah or just sharing with the kids. The 9-year-old is probably mainly done with bubbles. The 17-year-old is, gets to play with the 9-year-old or with other friends.
Yeah, but making bubbles freeze in the cold is fun.
Yes, we've done that.
So they might still do that part.
Definitely.
Oh, that's fun. That's too sweet.
It's a great story.
Thanks.
Okay. The thing.
What you giving away, Steph?
I was thinking we were going to give away cookies. Is that what we're doing?
Oh, yeah, we did say
That
that.
sounds good.
We did say that.
Yeah, to one lucky winner, though. That's not the right one.
We thought as the prize tonight that we would
Get
see
the-
who. Go ahead.
The winner gets their choice. So some chocolate chip ginger snap and cinnamon cookies there. David's cookie, a pound of different types, chocolate chunk, oat raisin, double chocolate chunk. The chocolate wasn't enough, double chocolate chunk and peanut butter. Or if those don't sound good to you, then we could give the $25 Amazon gift card. So who wins this, you'll have your choice of those 3 items and that. So just hang on a bit and let me know. Oh, it's got sound.
Lucky winner. Let's see who's going to be the lucky winner. Number 2. Who's number 2?
Who's number 2? Making sure I'm right. Judy.
Checking your list.
Yay, Judy.
Judy.
Congratulations,
Merry
Judy.
Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, Judy.
Happy
Happy New Year, all that fun stuff.
Awesome.
Okay, so you'll have to let Aaron know which one of the 3, you don't have to right now, the second, which one of the 3 that you would prefer.
Oh, okay. I forgot the choices already.
We'll stay after the event and you and I can talk.
Okay.
Congratulations. So what better way to end the session? Not only did we talk about a lot of cookies, thank you, Kathy, for leading that. We tried to make cookies. I would say all 4 teams were very successful. And then you got to win cookies. So
thank you for saying 4 teams.
Team number 1.
I didn't realize that there was a 4th team. So glad that you were there. And so with that, Kathy, did you want to describe what you're going to send out after the event?
Sure. So I will go through the chat and you guys are welcome to, if you haven't done it already, if you go into chat do the 3 little dots. You can save chat so you can have all the fun things that were put in there. I'll pull out any more recipes that are in there. I will kick you out a most likely a PDF. I'm always make these PowerPoints way too big. So I'll try to make it not so big, or Aaron can just post it and we'll give you a link. But so we'll have the synopsis of all the fun stuff so you guys can have fun making cookies this year. Aaron will have the recording and we'll have the chat, and we will send that out with your CDU as well. So the all important CDU. So we thank you very much. We do have Aaron, do you have a link for next time? Because we know somebody on this board is going to use it. There we go.
To
So
be the first one to register.
Yes.
And then
Oh, you know who's the first one to register.
we know who the first one will be.
I
So
think I've already done it.
you've already done it. You're so fun. So we've got it set for February 13th, 2024. It is Internet Friends Day. So stay tuned. We'll tease you guys with a what our technique or fun thing will be, but mark down February 13th and click on the chat. I'm assuming Marcy's already first done. Marcy, always do this before we close the night. You're so fun.
She
If I don't
does
put
it.
it on my calendar, I get stuck with something else.
Oh, there you go. Well, you can't miss it.
I'm in.
Nope, exactly.
I'm signed up.
Yay.
Hey.
But this was fun, guys. If you guys have any other recipes, I know a couple folks emailed them to Steph. If you have anything else you want to include, just throw it to Steph. She'll send it to me and I'll include it. These recipes are fun. Every time I make one of these things, I'll tell you, remember our very first December one? What was that? Shoot, it was like a cracker crunch. What was that? It had like I made that one, and now I gotta pull up that old one. That was addictive.
Oh, it's something crack, isn't it? Or
Yeah, it was some kind of
oh,
one of
I
the
can't think of what it's
things.
called,
You
but
know
it's
what it
really
was?
good.
It was so, I mean, and you just put like saltines on a tray, and then you got all kinds of caramel yumminess, and oh Lord, it was addictive.
Now I've got to find that again. I hope I still have it.
So if you're in need of other holiday ideas, just send me an email and I'll send you last year's Christmas recipes and the year before, because I think this is our third Christmas shindig.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
this
And
has
you
been
take
fun.
it easy and get feeling better, Kathy.
I know. Well, yay for Paxlovid. Woohoo!
Yes, been there, done that.
Yeah,
It does help.
I know.
And
But I
February 13th is not only National or Internet Friends Day, so bring your favorite internet friend. But it's also National Cheddar Day, so we're going to be doing cheddar recipes and that.
Yum.
better.
What kind of recipe?
Yummy.
Cheddar. Oh, cheddar.
And
Yeah.
the other
Yum,
one
yum,
is
yum.
a Punchki Day.
Oh,
And it's also
As how do you say it?
Fosnot.
Osnot.
It's
It looks like a Punchki.
also Fosnot Day. So if you don't know what that is, look it up. I'm German, so but I still had no idea what Fosnot is. So
So
And if you don't,
will
you
be
can come
also-
that day and we'll explain it to you.
There you
Right.
go.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. We had a blast tonight, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Did you say Funica? Did I hear you say that correctly, Norm?
I did not say that, but that works.
Oh, I am
great.
so sorry. That's what I
No,
thought you
it
said.
totally
I was-
works. It totally works.
Because you were talking
Thank
about
you.
bubbles, and I thought you were ice.
Funica,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Wow. You can't
Bubbles are
take-
great. Yes,
And
if you're
Happy
looking for
New
a
Year
gift
to
item.
everyone too.
And
Yes,
I want to say thank you to everybody here. You guys do a wonderful job and building community and injecting fun and positivity. And it's just, I really appreciate the chance to be here.
Thank you, Judy.
Well, thanks,
Thank
Judy.
you. You're
And
on
you're
the
all-
good list.
You're on the good list.
You're
Good
always
evening,
welcome
everyone.
back, and we have plenty of more activities and that, besides this social event and that. So feel free. We got study groups that we do all year long, as well as our monthly meetings. And that you're out in California, right?
Yes.
And
Mhm.
that, I don't know if you're connected to a chapter out there, but feel free to join us anytime.
Yep.
Thank
Same
you.
with the Chicagoland one. We have regular meetings as well. And I know so does Michigan because she's coughing, so I'm not going to make her talk, but you're welcome to come to all and any of ours. So please do.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I really enjoyed the programming of the other chapters.
No problem. And Button's bouncing around saying, you can join me. You can join me.
What a cute little
She's
pup.
Around say
food all night.
blueberries.
Uh-oh, don't do that or I'm in trouble.
Get those
Good night, everyone.
blueberries.
They say blueberries.
Well-
Yes, they did.
Well, thank
Yes,
you
I
for
know.
an amazing year,
Happy holidays, guys.
everyone. It's been truly wonderful hanging out with you as a community the entire year. So looking forward to 2024 for sure.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Thank
A
you.
Hope you-
healthy
everyone.
year.
Hope
Going
you
for
have a
healthy.
wonderful time, and we will see you at an upcoming event for any of our 3 chapters.
Sounds
Sounds great.
fantastic.
Very good. Thanks,
Happy
everybody. That was
holidays.
fun.
Night, everyone.
Thanks,
Happy
guys.
holidays.
Bye.
Bye.